I've been playing a ton of Juno since she was released, and I picked up quite a few tips and tricks. And I wanted to be able to share this guide with you. So in this video, I'll be going over more advanced tips for each ability, how to position, and so much more. So stick around, click that like button, and let's get into it. Juno's healing style is similar to Ana, where her left click heals and does damage, but you can't critical hit. So if you're shooting a teammate who has recently taken damage, your ray gun will heal. But if your teammate is full HP, the blaster will phase through, connecting with a teammate that needs healing, or an enemy player, whichever one comes first. There's also a damage and healing fall off of 70% past 45 meters. So remember, Juno plays a little bit more like Lucio than she does Ana. Her ray gun shoots 12 hit scan blasts consecutively each fire. This means the best type of aim for her is tracking. Juno is a very strong pocket healer. Each burst can heal for a total of 82 HP if you hit all of the projectiles. So make sure you're always keeping an eye on your tank and the rest of your team. One tip for ray gun is to move your crosshair quickly to paint where you want to heal or do damage. And what I mean by painting is to drag your mouse over where you would like to shoot, creating a trail similar to painting. That trail will hit enemies and heal allies. Painting is helpful when trying to hit high mobility targets like Tracer. The first thing you need to do with this ability is go to the settings and change fire mode from toggle to release. This will allow you to shoot the torpedoes just by releasing the fire button. Huge quality of life change. Pulsar torpedoes are Juno's secondary ability that will lock on to allies and enemies within line of sight. The lock-on speed is faster the closer to the target you are. These torpedoes deal 75 damage to enemies and 75 healing to allies plus 60 HPS over 3 seconds. As you can probably tell by the numbers, this ability is not meant to be a burst hill for sticky situations. In fact, you're better off using your ray gun for most burst damage situations. Torpedoes are a very easy ability to waste, get zero value out of, or miss completely. I made a list of 5 thoughts that you should keep in the back of your mind while you're playing Juno. 1. Make sure your targets get hit by the projectile. 2. Use it with 2 or more targets in view, whether they be allies or enemies. 3. Use it when your team is half HP or more, not critical. 4. Preferably use it to deal damage as well. And 5. Have enough time to use it. One way I also find myself using Pulsar torpedoes is dealing with flankers in 1v1 situations. If you find yourself getting dove by those pesky Genji and Tracer players, try backing up a little bit and using your torpedoes for a guaranteed hit. That'll definitely apply the pressure back to them and possibly win you the duel. I recommend using them early into the fight though, as it does take a second to lock on and cast. Glide boosts are one of my favorite abilities in the game. On use, it allows you to gain a speed boost and glide horizontally for 5 seconds. During this time, you can shoot, use your torpedoes, double jump, and pretty much anything else that Juno can do. Except for one thing, and that's to gain any more elevation after your second jump. There is one really cool tech I discovered while using glide boosts. While in the air, if you glide into a sloped wall, you'll be able to gain elevation. This is extremely useful for when you just barely missed the height for a jump to get to high ground, or you got booped off a map by Lucio. You can also use it to get aggressive with the flank, but make sure you have your tank with you. Hyper Ring is a very useful speed boost ability. Juno will fire a projectile that'll travel forward and after 7 meters, or if it hits a surface, will spawn a ring. If your allies walk through the ring, they gain a speed boost. Juno gets the speed boost on use and does not have to walk through the ring, but if she does, she gets a reset of the timer for the speed boost. The projectile will also hit allies, giving them a speed boost before the ring spawn. So this means if you use Hyper Ring, make sure to pass the projectile through your allies. Juno and your allies are able to use the ring a second time by walking through, extending the duration of a speed boost. Combine this with glide boost and Juno might even be faster than Lucio. This ability is a great tool for helping your team push in, retreating, or repositioning. It can also be used strategically for yourself. By throwing the ring at your feet, you give yourself the opportunity to gain a speed boost for a longer time, making you a more difficult target to hit. I've used this method in a ton of 1v1 situations, using a good combination of my Hyper Ring and glide boost to give myself the movement advantage. Juno's ultimate is Orbital Ray, a large beam from the sky that shoots down and moves forward slowly for 9 seconds, giving a 35% damage boost and healing 90 HP for anyone who stands inside of it. Make sure your team knows when you're going to use your ultimate and to stand in it to get its benefits. This ultimate will go through walls, floors, and objectives, so don't be afraid to throw it through a wall if it means saving your team. There are a few unconventional ways to use this ultimate, such as throwing it backwards towards your team, which TikTok didn't seem to like the idea of so much, judging by these comments. But what they don't seem to think about is the circumstance. You need to think about what your team is doing before you use your ult. Since it moves on its own, you should be thinking about where your team will be next to get the most value. There have been countless times where I've used my ultimate for a push and my team would retreat, giving me no value. Make sure you're telling your team when you're planning to ult and the intention, whether it's to push or retreat, and it will ensure you get maximum value out of that ultimate. Positioning should be on the mind of all Overwatch players' brains. The entire game is about positioning. I find there are two ways to play Juno: aggressive and protective. This mostly depends on who my team is playing and how they're playing. For the aggressive playstyle, I usually like to be close to my tank, typically a Winston or a Diva. Using the hyper ring to boost us both, I follow their dive, staying close and providing support while also dealing damage to the target. For the protective playstyle, if my tank is more stationary like Sigma or Reinhardt, I'll play a little bit further back with my entire team on my screen, making sure to provide heals and peels for my DPS and support. Juno's high mobility will allow her to navigate the map a lot easier than other supports. I recommend always trying to find the high ground during a fight. Staying up high will make it easier to see your entire team while also making it more difficult to be flanked. Juno is a fast-paced hero with high solo heal potential, making her a perfect support to run in just about any comp. She is very fun, impactful, and a great addition to the Overwatch character roster. I could see a few changes to her in the future, like giving her more control over her ultimate, but overall I think she's in a great spot. I've been climbing like crazy with her, and I hope this guide will also help you climb as well. So if you enjoyed this guide and I helped you learn a little bit something about Juno, go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like the video. And if you had any other tips that I missed, go ahead and comment those as well. I also stream on Twitch every single day, Monday through Friday. Stop on by. Thanks for watching.